Aloha, everyone. My name is Sarah Lohilani Jenkins with the county's Office of Recovery. Welcome back to this week's Trending Topics Coconut Wireless series. Last week, you heard from myself and Aaron Wade from the Department of Management, and we talked about some of the misinformation that was going around about debris removal. This week, we have EPA with us to share the most current and up-to-date information about their work. So welcome, Karl. We know EPA has been here for a while throughout the response, and you closed out your household hazardous material mission assignment, but now EPA is back. Can you introduce yourself and share about EPA's latest ESF3 mission assignments?
My name is Karl Banks. I'm with the US EPA. I am the incident commander for ESF3. That's our water and wastewater mission assignment. And the work we're doing here is the support of the County of Maui on recovery of water and wastewater service in the burned area of Lahaina.
Mahalo for EPA's continued support in assessing the county's wastewater and drinking water infrastructure, but also for our long-term recovery efforts. What could the community expect while you guys are conducting your work? I know some people have walked up to you guys' crews while you've been working, and we just want to understand how we can better keep our community at a safe distance to not interrupt your work, but also for them to know kind of what to expect, what's going on. For example, what do your trucks look like, and what is the type of work that you may be doing that they can look out for, that they may be seeing?
We're doing two main operations currently. The first is drinking water sampling for volatile organic chemicals, semi-volatile organic chemicals, coliform bacteria. Those trucks are basically, they just look like rental minivans. The crews are small, 3 or 4 people, and they're going from place to place. You might see them flushing hydrants, and they'll be taking samples from those hydrants, and soon we'll be transitioning into taking samples from service laterals to determine whether they're contaminated or not. The other main operation is wastewater sewer line inspection, and those trucks are bigger. There's usually 1 or 2 trucks doing clean out and vacuuming prior to the cameras, which are little robot cameras that go through the pipes. The clean out trucks are larger. They make a little bit of noise, about like the size and the sound from a garbage truck. The CCTV camera crews are basically in small vans and don't make much sound at all.
So if people see, these trucks in the areas, they know what to expect. If they see potential, water kind of in the area of hydrants, they know what to expect. But also if they see, these crews that may have a device that looks like a camera, they understand that it's, you guys doing your inspections of the sewer line. So thank you so much for clarifying that. And we would really just want to provide transparency for our community. So speaking to kind of the volume of the trucks, I know you mentioned that the vac trucks were a little bit louder, similar to kind of the size of garbage trucks and possibly the noise of it. But I also heard that you guys are doing night operations, and we had some questions come in from our community about what was going on. And again, in the efforts of transparency and dispelling any rumors that may be going on about, people out there at night. Can you tell me a little bit more about these night operations? What times will you be working? From what period of time? What areas? Or also, why is this necessary? Why are you guys doing this night operations?
We already started night operations last night, and we'll be doing them through Friday night this week. Our operations go from 8 p.m. to 4 a.m., and we'll be inspecting sanitary sewer system lines from Honoapi'ilani Highway and Keawe Street in Lahaina, between Leali'i Parkway and Keawe Street. The reason we're doing it at night is because it's multiple reasons. First of all, we don't want to impact the traffic in this area too adversely. We understand it's the main corridor for driving north to south and south to north. And for that reason also, safety is a concern. So by having fewer cars on the road, we will be closing 1 lane of the highway as we go. So it's much safer for the workers to not have as much traffic during those nighttime hours. And finally, for technical reasons, the sewer inspections go better at night because there's less flow through those pipes, and so the cameras get a better view. As far as the noise and the impact in the community, first of all, we don't anticipate to be anywhere near occupied homes along the highway there. It's mostly commercial, businesses and such. But the sound, while it is sort of loud when you're right next to the truck, even just 20 or 30 feet away, it just sounds like a truck, idling. It's not a super loud sound. And from a greater distance, I think it would just fade into the background. And if it is disturbing, one thing you can know is that it won't last very long. They do the work and then they move on down the road. So it will be, we're sorry if it's inconvenient or disruptive, but it won't last too long.
Thank you for sharing that. I know our community probably would want to know if they are near the impacted area, will they be able to sleep through it? Would it impact them? So good to know that it would be minimal, and also the operation time that you guys would be working in that area is also limited. So thank you for sharing that. And you touched a little bit about how that work is not really going to be impacting those who may live in close proximity. Would your normal day-to-day work that you do aside from the night operations, would those also impact or have any impact on potential people who are living or have homes near these areas? Would they have to leave their homes, or would they be able to, stay in their homes? How does your normal work impact? Would they be notified when you guys are working in certain areas and things like that?
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up. As is required by the county, we will be notifying any occupied residents, any occupied structures, at least 48 hours before we start work, so you'll know it's coming. There is a slight chance of a sewer backup as a result of the work. We haven't had any yet, and it's unlikely, but in the case of that, the notice that we'll be putting on the doors will include a phone number. If there's any trouble whatsoever, the residents can call that number and a cleanup crew will come to take care of it. So you don't need to worry about it. But like I said, it's a very low risk of that actually occurring. And so yeah, we hope that by reaching out and following these, the requirements of the county, that people will be well informed in advance.
Thank you for sharing that and for doing your due diligence and, properly notifying our community. We definitely don't want to foresee any impacts, and I know that you guys don't as well. So mahalo for all your efforts on that end. I had another question kind of along the lines of night operations. One of the other concerns that, we have been hearing from some of our community members are about potential impacts to some of our native wildlife, such as our native shore and seabirds that may be sensitive to light impacts. So when you're working and doing these night operations, we understand that you may have some additional lighting in these areas. And we just kind of wanted to know what you guys are doing to abide by, county, state, and federal policies to keep our wildlife safe from harm.
We are not using any large lights, and we are not facing any lights upwards. So the lights we are using to see the work, it's down in a manhole or it's on the street. So all our lights that are at all bright are faced down. We're using some personal lighting to make sure people are safe and they can be seen by traffic. And we are also just minimizing the amount of light that might be towards the shore or towards the trees. And I observed it last night. I went out last night to sort of verify how this was functioning. And we did not really seem to make any impact with regard to the light. What I could see of light was coming from the street lights or from cars, but not from the lights we were using.
Great. Thank you so much for incorporating that into, your best management practices. We know that you guys are working with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, so we know that, as experts on the subject matter experts on, some of our native wildlife and flora and fauna of the area, that you guys are in line with making sure that you don't have any impact. But also great that you guys are actively monitoring this as well in your night operations. My last question is that if our community has any questions or concerns about your work, or that they just want to hear more, where can they contact the EPA for more information?
At any time, we can be reached at 808 229 5184, or we can be reached by email at r9wildfiresinfo@epa.gov, and those emails will be answered Monday through Saturday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. You can also check out our website for more information at www.epa.gov/Maui-wildfires. And we just wanted to say we really appreciate the community's support and patience as we work through these missions. And the people of Lahaina have been just so wonderful to all of us, and it's an honor for us to do this work.
Mahalo, Karl. We know that Maui Recovers on our website. We will help to amplify this message, and any up-to-date information that you guys are posting on your website, we'll make sure to direct people there as well. We just want to mahalo you, EPA, for being with us today and for all your amazing work helping Maui recover. This is it for this week's trending topics, and we'd like everyone to stay tuned in the weeks to come, where we'll be using this platform to answer questions and address issues relating to response and recovery. So mahalo everyone, and aloha.